Hey Madison, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so excited that you're here today. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I'm a senior in college. I go to Mississippi State. I am in a sorority. I'm a nutrition major. I have a job, so I'm very busy.
Okay. What kind of job do you have?
I'm an undergraduate researcher.
Okay, so that's more kind of a desktop sitting
Yes,
job.
I
Okay.
sit a lot. Mhm.
Okay. Well, that's so great. So can you tell me a little bit about why you decided to come in today?
I've just been not eating well
Okay.
lately. It's hard to eat great when you're on the go a lot and you're surrounded by a lot of food the way that we are in college. And so I just want some tips on how to eat better.
Okay, well, we can do that.
Okay.
So basically what kind of happens during counseling session is the nutrition care process. So we're going to first go over your assessment and then diagnosis, but don't be scared. It's just kind of getting an idea of what's going on. Then intervention, so that's whenever I'll give you the tips and whatnot. And then a week later we'll meet again and we're going to see how it's going. So first, we're going to do the assessment, and I had you fill out this client assessment. So we're just going to talk about it a little bit. So I see you really have some, family, blood relatives that have some, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. So doing that and having that, it's a good idea to follow what's called the DASH diet. So that's going to be, making sure you're getting your fruits and your vegetables, and then, watching your sodium intake and stuff like that. I see you do not smoke and you do not do tobacco, which is good. We love that. So we love walking and jogging. Do you have an idea of how much you walk a day?
I probably walk about 5 miles a day.
Good, great.
To class.
Good.
From class. If I have extra time, I'll walk in between or after.
Awesome. You're not on any medication. You've never really done a special diet. I see we also did the 24-hour food record, and I had you fill this out. So let's go over that.
Okay, I must say, this is a game day, so it's not my normal diet.
Okay.
But this is what I had yesterday.
Okay. Well, do you want to tell me a little bit about what your normal diet is?
Yeah. Okay, so normally I will wake up and I may or may not eat breakfast, but I always drink coffee or tea, and then I'll drink a Spark, which is just an energy supplement, and then for lunch around 11, I'll have a salad with some protein on it, maybe some yogurt. And then at some point during the day, I always have an apple and peanut butter every day.
Okay.
And then for dinner, I just kind of have whatever is available at the Kaya house.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's good. One of the big things, in this intervention, I was going to just really implement is to make sure you are having at least 3 meals a day. So, breakfast, like they say, it's the most important meal of the day. So even if it's just like, I see here you ate a Go Macro bar. So even if it's just that in the morning, just to kind of get your metabolism moving. Like you said, you walk a lot. So, getting that moving, those carbohydrates are going to give you that energy and help you. And hopefully you won't have to have as much caffeine during the day. And so also what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a list of foods. So what you want to do in each meal is you want to have a carbohydrate, a protein, and then some type of fat source. So for breakfast, you're going to want to do something. I know it's hard to eat breakfast, but you're going to want to do something like a whole wheat toast, and then you could do eggs, and that's your protein. But that egg has that fat in it, so that's getting your fat in it. So it's really not as hard as people make it out to be. You just kind of have to be aware and know that there are kind of 3 factors, and to have each section of that, and that's when you know that you're making that. So some other examples for like carbohydrates are obviously your fruits and your vegetables. Those, are key, and you can make them all different types of ways. You can eat them raw, you can eat them, you can cook them, whatever. Pinterest is great, so I would highly recommend that. How confident do you feel whenever you go into a grocery store?
Very confident.
Okay, so you know how to kind of move around the grocery store and whatnot?
Yeah, it's just the only reason that I don't go often is because I'm only preparing food for myself.
Okay.
So it's hard to buy groceries or fresh groceries.
Do you do any meal prepping or anything? Do you feel comfortable with that, or would you rather kind of just do kind of as you go?
I would like to meal prep.
Okay.
There's just not much time for it.
Yeah. even if it's just what, like, personally what I like to do is I won't meal prep each portion of my meal, but I will like cook chicken for the week. So just I can have that protein source and then kind of grab from whatever else I have and kind of do it that way. Okay, so I do have a grocery store kind of like almost like a map. So like where you can find, like, you know, obviously the outside of the grocery store, that's where you're gonna find your fresh foods, and then more inside and is where you're gonna find more of the, you know, bread and stuff, and that's where you can find the processed stuff. So trying to stray away from the process. Frozen foods are okay, as long as, like, for frozen, like, vegetables and whatnot, just make sure you aren't getting the ones that, like, have, like, the sauce on them, because those are when they're going to start adding those calories. And you can, you know, make your own sauce. You can use olive oil and whatnot, and that's getting your fat source in. So having that is good. I love frozen vegetables, and that's a good option just for a college student whenever you don't have time to actually buy, you know, fresh food. So doing that is good. Is there any other specifics that you are concerned about, like portion control or anything like that?
You can tell me about portion control. Sometimes
Okay.
I feel like I overeat at nighttime.
Okay. Well, most of the time, whenever someone's like usually overeating at nighttime, is because they're not consuming enough throughout the day. So just making sure you have those 3 meals, make them a priority, and then snacking is wonderful. So like if you bring like some almonds to class, or bring like a Go Macro bar, having that is great. So just making sure you're getting enough in your first 2 meals of the day, and being able to kind of have those snacks available, because that's what you not eating enough in the earlier parts of the day is what's going to lead to that nighttime snacking. And you're like, wow, I've only eaten this much today, I'm starving. And then that's when you tend to get those big meals, and that's when that kind of starts to happen. So. Well, I think that we should meet again in a week, and like I said, I'm going to give you this, going to see how it goes. And if you have any other questions, feel free to contact. So basically, the list that I'm giving you, it has you don't have to strictly follow it, but basically make sure you're getting a protein source, a carb source, and then some type of fat source.
Okay, so I'm going to practice that for a week?
Yes.
Okay, and then we're going to meet again, and then I'll tell you how it's going.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, and then your physical activity is great. If you want to do some more, I mean, I know it's hard, but a little bit more high intensity, that's great too. If not, whatever you're most comfortable with. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll see you in a week.
All right. Okay, so here's going to be our counseling agreement. So if you want to fill out your name right here. And then, so basically, what are some of your goals for this week?
To eat more fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
Or to eat, we talked about eating
the fruits and vegetables, and then more of the balanced meals.
I'm just going to say eat a balanced diet.
Okay.
Macros. And then I'll accomplish this plan this week. Mm-hmm. So the 17th through the 24th.
Yeah.
And then my reward will be to get a new sweater.
Perfect. And then if you'll just sign right there.
Okay.
And I'll see you back in a week.
Okay.
Perfect. Hey, Madison, how was your week?
It was really great.
Good. Did you have any tests or anything this week?
I just had one.
Okay, how'd it go?
It was good. It was really stressful. There were 600 slides.
Okay.
It was just overwhelming. I feel like that kind of fed into my eating habits, but I really did try to eat a balanced carbs, fat, protein, and I tried to eat breakfast more, like you said.
Okay.
It didn't work that well, but I tried.
Okay. Well, everything, everything is about balance, like we talked about. So even, it's okay if you are running out the door and you miss breakfast one morning, but just to have it in your mind and, really being aware of it is really important. Where do you felt like your strengths were?
I feel like I did really well at adding in some healthy fats.
Okay.
And I did really well at not overeating at dinner. I told you that. I have a hard time at night. Since I'm so busy during the day, I tend to eat a lot at dinner, but I didn't this week. So that was
Awesome.
good.
That's really awesome. Do you feel like since you did that this week and you tried that out, that could really be part of your lifestyle and you could continue that?
Yeah, I think that it just took me taking this first step, and now I'll be able to do better.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your weaknesses. Where do you think? I know you said breakfast. Were there any other weaknesses that you saw?
I didn't mention this last time, but I just really love sweets.
Okay.
So sometimes I have a really hard time of eating a meal and not ending it with a sweet. I think that's probably a weakness.
Okay.
I try to normally eat a fruit. Not a vegetable. I try to normally eat a fruit if I really need something sweet.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not available and I just eat something else.
Yeah. Well, there are so many different options for healthier sweets. There's so many, like I said, Pinterest earlier. Pinterest is the go-to. There are ways you can make cookies that are a little bit healthier. You can do, you can use almond flour and then almond milk. And I can't believe it's not butter. It's better than, actual butter. So stuff like that. Just kind of like, it's just the little things. And even just like those little things, switching those up really does make such a difference. And then, like you said, you were having a hard time. You tried the breakfast, but it was kind of difficult. If you, even if it's just like a protein bar, like just having those and like having it, like even if it's in your backpack, in your car, and just, it doesn't have to be fancy.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm really sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It happens all the time. So basically, just having that and really working on that. And then also a really good thing is trying to get your friends accountable too,
Yeah.
So like, do you have roommates?
Yeah.
Okay. So would they be interested in kind of eating a healthier lifestyle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you wanted to, talk to them about it and be like, hey, let's do this week. Or y'all can even all cook together and, like we talked about meal prepping previously, and y'all can, make a big meal. Like, for example, I also have a roommate. So me and her last Sunday, we made chicken in the crock pot, which is great. Crock pot is so easy. You just kind of put everything in and you let it cook for a couple hours. And then we made some asparagus and we had made homemade mashed potatoes, but we made them with, skim milk. We made them with I can't believe it's not butter. So kind of having that healthier option.
Yeah.
And kind of like, just like I said, changing those little parts really will add up and make a difference.
Yeah, that sounds great. Okay. I'll try that the next few weeks.
Well, do you have any other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, thank you so much, and I
Thank
really
you.
hope that you've got
It's been
something
so much
out.
fun, and I have learned so much from you.
Well, thank you.